Welcome to lecture number 6 of Unit 2 of RF and millimeter wave IC design. In today's class, we will look at the drawbacks of the architecture what we have seen yesterday, Hartley receiver architecture. We'll see the drawbacks. Just to summarize and review what we have done the other day, we looked at the graphical analysis of the Hartley receiver. So for the graphical analysis, we have taken this quadrature converter, and with the image, with the spectrum of the image and the input, what you can see on the screen. Using that, we draw the output at the upper arm and lower arm of this quadrature converter, and later, after looking at that signal, we observed that the high, because of high side injection and low side injection for the signal and image, there is a clear cut distinct like difference between the signal emerging there. So by applying a suitable operation of 90-degree phase shift to one of the path, the quadrature path, images can be cancelled, and signals were restored. That is what we have seen graphically, and with that we have developed the architecture. The same down converter, quadrature converter, is extended with one more additional 90-degree phase shift to the one of the arm, and then later if we combine both, we can say that the images were rejected, and hence we call it as image reject receivers. The same thing I asked you to write the mathematical expression. X of t I have given. Now, if we write the signal at various points x, a, b, c, and when you combine the signals at x, a, and c, you can see that the images will be cancelled out completely and signals will be restored there. So, whatever we have seen graphically is also proved mathematically. Now, looking at this architecture and looking at the discussion what we have done, at least if we look at this graph, we will get to know that image cancellation can happen. Image cancellation will happen completely, or it purely depends on the track, depends on how the signal and images are getting processed um, through the circuit. So we have the circuit here, we have the architecture here, and both the addition of signal and the cancellation of image totally depends on the receiver, the Hartley receiver individual components, right? Because um, we know that the images will be cancelled out completely only if the this b by 2, this amplitude and phase on one arm should be exactly equal and opposite to the amplitude which is to the signal coming on the other arm. So the upper arm image signal and the lower arm image signal should have equal amplitude and opposite phase, and that should happen exactly, then only we can say the images will be equal to 0. But we having seen that in the graphical analysis, we know in reality getting amplitude and phase exactly equal on two different arms is definitely difficult practically, because it all depends on the components what we use. It all depends on the various other factors of the signals, especially if you look at the architecture. Everything depends on the signal cos omega lot and sin omega lot, the LO signals. And now the cancellation of image is also influenced by the quadrature or the exact 90-degree phase shift between the cos omega LOT signal and the sin omega LOT signal, right? So if at all is there any change in the amplitude or even in the phase of the LO signal, that can result in imperfect cancellation of image, right? I hope you will agree to this, because for this diagram to exist, to get this kind of image exactly the with amplitudes equal and phase opposite, will happen only in ideal case. In practical case, we have to look at the exact quadrature between the LO signals coming to the upper arm and lower arm, and also we have to look at the components which is available, because for phase shift operation we are using certain if we are implementing, because we have another 180-degree phase shift operation. So but typically this is done with the help of the previously said RCCR network. So the cancellation of image totally depends on various other factors too. So in today's class, what we will do is we will look at those factors which result in imperfect cancellation of image, and that is what I am going to present to you as the drawbacks of Hartley receiver. All right. So before presenting the drawbacks, let me redraw the structure of Hartley architecture. So Hartley architecture, the same structure what you have seen before, but the additional 90-degree phase shift operation is generally implemented using again RCCR network in this particular fashion. Um, so the structure remains same. The RF input is coming here. Now we are applying. The quadrature converter followed by the low pass filter, and now so previously I have written, I think I have drawn in the other way. I'm slightly changing that because the 90-degree phase shift operation, what was happening, what has to happen in one of the arm, especially in the quadrature arm. So how generally we will implement that is by providing 45-degree phase shift on one arm and minus 45-degree on the other arm, and then we will combine it together, for the reason that getting 90-degree phase shift directly on one signal is difficult, because you know that with an RC network the maximum phase shift what you will get is 90, and for practical reasons we obtain that, we try to obtain a lower degree, smaller degrees, and then we will combine. So for that reason I am just splitting the RCCR network, not for directly getting a 90-degree phase shift, rather we are designing this for getting 45 degree, 45 and minus 45, and later I am going to combine. So the previously whatever I have drawn as a single block of 90-degree phase shift is now realized. This is one way to realize it. So it is now realized in this fashion. So it is okay. I'm just calling it as C1 R1, R1 C1. So what I did here is now yeah. So I think I have just yeah. Now I have shifted the arm just to implement this structure, because top I have used an RC and here in CR. So minus 45 and 45, which will give you 90-degree phase shift over there. So now I'm just giving this as ALO, and this is ALO cos omega LOT. So what I just shifted the upper arm and lower arm and implemented the 90-degree phase shift operation in this form. So I will retain the points as same. This is the point A, this is the point B, and finally we will combine after the phase shift. We will combine and get IF output in this fashion. All right. So 1 second. Yeah. So with this architecture, let us discuss the drawbacks now. Yeah, the primary drawback is coming from the fact that see now the perfect image cancellation is totally depending on the what to say, the matching, the perfect matching of two parts. You have an upper arm and lower arm. So how far the components or how far both arms are matched, Depending on that, you will have perfect image cancellation, right? But we can consider various things or various practical aspects over here. So I'm just listing out that as drawbacks. I hope you guys are with me for the discussion what I'm doing here. I have directly taken the same architecture and just implemented 90-degree phase shift using the same RCCR. But instead of directly getting a 90 degree, trying to get 45 on one arm minus 45 on the other arm, and then adding it together to get 90-degree phase shift. Now, in the one of the main drawback here is uh, the the circuit or the architecture is now sensitive to mismatches. So when I say sensitive to mismatches, since we are talking about the cancellation of image, if at all there is a change in gain or if at all there is a change in phase in any one of the arm, that will definitely result in imperfect cancellation. So the very first drawback what we are going to discuss is sensitive to mismatches. When I say mismatches, mismatch in the gain or mismatch in the phase. So it can be either gain mismatch or phase mismatch. So what we'll do now is we will add mismatches to either one of the path, and we will see how far images are getting rejected, or finally we are trying to get a measure called as, see, since we know that cancelling out of image perfectly is an ideal situation, and then practically there are so many other hurdles. So now we are trying to see how far images are being rejected, or we are trying to develop a new performance parameter called as image rejection ratio for the Hartley architecture. So when we talk about image rejection ratio should be typically very high in order to get rid of all the images. Right. So the very first thing is we are considering the mismatches. So when I say mismatches, that can arise from the LO signal, because you have LO signal applied to this upper arm here and the lower arm here. There can be changes in the gain basically coming from the amplitude of this LO signal, and there can be changes affecting the phase. So this ALO can definitely cause gain changes, because previously I assumed that ALO is 1, and I have done the analysis and I have got the results, or I have just written the results directly like this. But now in practical cases, ALO being 1 on both the arms may not be exactly happening. There will be small change in the amplitude. Similarly, phase also, we say both are quadrature signals, but there can be changes in the phase as well. So for now we are going to do that analysis, and for that what I'll do is I'll include the changes in gain, small changes in gain and small changes in phase to one of the signal, and we'll proceed with the analysis. So the upper arm I'll leave it as it is, but in the lower arm I'm including those mismatches or changes. So what I will do is this ALO cos omega LOT I'm modifying as um, still I'll consider this as 1 only, ALO. So it is sine omega LOT here, and this is cos omega LOT. This is cos omega LOT, and the meaning is I am looking for an ALO value of 1. So that is true here, that there is true in the upper arm, but in the lower arm there is a small change, and the small change I am marking with this this factor, which is 1 plus epsilon. Similarly, in the phase also, sin omega LOT there and cos omega LOT should be on the lower arm, but I am marking that mismatch in the phase as cos omega LOT plus theta. All right. Is this clear what I'm trying to do? Can I get your response in the chat box? All right. Yeah. So I'll just write the points also here. Perfect image cancellation will happen will happen only if the amplitude and phase of the quadrature component, the Q component of image matches with the I component, right? So if the amplitude and phase of the I and Q component are same, or if they match, then we can say that when we add the IF output, the images will be completely cancelled. But we can definitely expect a gain or phase shift in both the arms, and that will result in imperfect cancellation. So that also I'll make here, gain and phase shift of both arms need not be identical. Not be identical, and that will result in certain fractions of image retained at the output. So this will result in a fraction of image retained at the output. All right. So based on this, we will do our first first analysis. So I'm just quantifying the mismatches, what I mentioned before. So when I quantify that, amplitude error is denoted using this factor of epsilon, and phase error is expressed using delta theta. So the LO waveform 1 is ALO sine omega LOT. If I consider ALO as 1, we will write this as sine omega LOT itself. If you want, we can again take ALO as the value itself. But for the simplicity, I'm just not considering. And LO2 is ALO. Yeah, now the other one will be 1 plus epsilon into cos omega LOT plus delta theta, where I have included the mismatches in both phase and amplitude. Now I request you to write the signals coming at xa of t, xb of t, xc of t, and we will try to write the intermediate frequency. So can you guys try to write what is xa of t by including these mismatches? Srinikhil, are you there, Srinikhil?
Sir?
Yeah, Srinikhil, can you read the xa of t signal, including the mismatches, amplitude and phase error? Srinikhil, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. I can.
Yeah, please.
XA of T.
No, I'm asking you to read from. I hope you are writing along with me. Are you writing along with me?
Sir?
Are you writing along with me?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay, then can you read from what you have written so far by including this change in amplitude and phase?
Okay. I didn't get it. So what I have to read out what the change in amplitude and phase.
Yeah. So Were you following this? Are you following what I was doing all this time?
Here and there I was lost, sir, but then I'm trying to follow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Please read out.
So the gain and phase shift I've written as given, it should not be identical.
Mm.
And then I wrote the given quantifying matches,
Mm.
and now that's all, sir, I've written.
No, okay, Sri. I think you are not following the class, Srinikal. Please listen carefully. If you see,
Yes,
when I see
sir.
you guys online, I expect that you are following. But if you are not able to follow, please don't join to the class.
I'll tell you
So
if
that no,
I'm
I'll not think that okay, all are attending and all are getting what I'm doing here.
okay, so I'll tell you if I'm not following from this time.
All right, yeah. So can I hear that from Amar? Hello, Amar. Hello, Amar. Are you there? All right. Okay. So I'll write that. So xa of t here will be equal to. So those who have written along with me, please tell me whether this is right or you are getting the same thing. So xa of t will be since it is multiplied with the signal, it will be a signal by 2, and this additional factor will come over here 1 plus epsilon, and the rest of the things remain same, cos omega c minus cos omega lo into t, plus the phase error what it was there added before, plus the small phase mismatch will also come here, plus similarly a im by 2 uh, 1 plus epsilon into cos omega im minus omega lo into t plus phi im plus delta theta. All right, so this is your xa of t.
So
So if you
minus
write,
delta theta.
yes, Navya.
Isn't it minus delta theta?
Why it is minus?
Sir, cos A cos B will be cos of A minus B, the low pass filter frequency component.
Yeah, so for the frequency component I have done here, right? The frequency is A minus B only. I
Okay,
didn't get,
sir.
yeah. So the first term is A plus B and A minus B. I have written in that form itself. Yeah, but I think I have written, yeah. So one change what I have done here is, so cos I have written in terms of omega im minus omega lo. Maybe that caused confusion, but either way, cos of minus theta is cos theta itself, right?
Sir, cos A will be omega C T plus phi signal, and B will be omega LO plus delta phi. So minus of B is entirely minus, right? For delta phi as well as omega LO.
Uh, Come again. I didn't get that. This,
So here
yeah.
cos B component is omega LOT plus delta phi, B component. I don't know if someone else is it
Yeah.
right or not.
Yeah. What is, no,
Sir,
this B
if
component?
omega LO is getting negative sign, then delta theta should also get negative sign. That is what.
Yeah, but what we are writing here is, so xa of t at this point is your RF input multiplied with the cos omega LOT, right?
Yes, sir.
So in that case,
Sir, will phase change always get added, irrespective?
oh, okay, okay, I have shown all the phase changes as addition, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I think that will not make much difference in our case now. Yeah. Okay. Let me. I'll just put it as mine plus only here, and let me see how it will affect our further analysis. Yeah, I didn't see that. Like always, like I put phase change as plus delta theta itself. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that could be in either way. Yeah, but I don't think that will. Okay, let me see. Let me proceed with this. So xb of t, when I write, I'm just writing with the previous equations what we have got yesterday. So it will be minus omega LO into t plus this phi signal minus a image by 2 into sine omega image minus omega LO into t plus this phi image. That is a sine component at B, and XE will be directly operating on XA of t with another phase shift, so that will be equal to A signal by 2 . Yeah, can tell me what is XC? XC is the waveform at this. Okay, XC is directly the, to combine this, 1 second. Okay, so I have written at the output. So after 90 degree phase shift, I need to add that. So that is coming in the lower arm here. So it is cos of 90 degree phase shift to this B. If I'm applying, it is omega C minus omega LO into T plus phi signal minus A image by 2 into cos of omega im minus omega LO into T plus phi image. Alright. So this is the phase shift applied to this, and finally what we are going to add to get the intermediate frequency signal is this XA of t and XC of t. And if I write that, my IF signal is equal to XA of t. Whether you guys got this, these three expressions, whether whatever I have written is right.
Sir, RC network provides 45 degree or 90 degree phase shift, sir.
Together it is giving you 90 degree phase shift. So
It can be included in any arm, sir.
no,
Upper
to
arm.
the low, yeah, to the B arm I have taken that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
No, A arm, sir.
Sorry, the what I think I have taken to the, yeah, to the upper arm. Yes. All right. So in that case, this is right. Yes, Lalit, I have interchanged. What I have done is, that is why you can see a small change in how I have included RC and CR over here. I have just interchanged it. Yeah. So let me know if I made any mistake in writing these expressions, and finally you can add this XA of t and XC of t. And okay, let me finish this and we can actually discuss that. Okay, so the whole idea here is, we told that there will be mismatches in the LO phase and LO gain that will result in imperfect cancellation of image, and we want to get a performance measure for that, which is nothing but image rejection ratio. Since we want to write image rejection ratio from your IF signal, when you write IF signal as the sum of x of A of t and x of C of t, in that you will have signal components as well as image components. I'm going to separate the signal components and image components here to express this further in terms of image rejection ratio. So if I write the signal component in the IF, I can write the signal component as A signal 1 plus epsilon by 2 cos of omega C minus omega LO into T plus phi signal plus delta theta plus A signal by 2 cos of omega C minus omega LO into T plus phi signal. So this is the signal component at the IF. Similarly, if I write the image component, if I separate the image component, I'll get it as A IM by 2 into 1 plus epsilon into cos of omega im minus omega LO into t plus phi of im plus delta theta minus aim by 2 cos of omega im minus omega LO into t plus phi im. So I have taken the signal components from the previous two equations separately and added together to form the signal component here. Similarly, I did for image. All right. I hope this is clear. And now one thing is clear that we are not going to get perfect cancellation of image. So for that reason, we have to write or we have to see how much image is getting rejected here. So to get image rejection, ratio, say we call it as IRR, image rejection ratio can be written as usual when we talk about image rejection ratio, we will see how much image is the power of image at the input to the signal power at the input. So this input divided by the image power to signal power at the output, right? Because what we are expecting is at output your image power should be 0. In that case, your image rejection ratio should ideally go to infinity, right? If your image rejection ratio is very high, the receiver itself is good. Now in this case, your output image to signal power will not be 0. There will be there will be a value there, and because of that, image rejection ratio will fall. So we have to look at the image rejection ratio and see that whether this can be used for a specific application or not. So at the input side, if I write the image to signal power at the input side, if I write, I can directly because the input image amplitude is like AIM square divided by, I can write it as A signal square. This is the image to signal power at the input side. Similarly, if I want to write the image to signal power at the output, now we have the expression here. Now we have these two things. Signal power should be taken from this and image power should be taken from this. Now, if you look at the signal and the image expression, it is like a vector sum, probably of this form. There is an amplitude A, then there is a phase term plus of this form. This is the form of my signal as well as image, right? So whenever you have a vector sum of this form, you can write the amplitude from this of this form, a square plus 2ab cos alpha plus b square divided by 2. This is how you typically write the power of this. All right, so can you apply this formula and write the image to signal ratio at the output? So when you have a vector sum of this form, you can write the average power using this expression. So since your signal and image at the output is of similar form, you can write image to signal ratio. The power of image, the image power to signal power ratio at the output can be written directly by using that formula. So can you guys try and let me know what you are getting at the output? So if I write it over here, it's A image square into I'm just applying that formula here and writing this. So will you get this if you apply that formula? Are you getting the same expression?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah. Yeah, Lalit, I think you have a question, but delta theta is really negligible, right? It won't cause much of difference. Yeah, so if a delta theta value, if it is very, I think we have to express that in radians itself here. So if that value is very small, then this will be this fraction. I think this will be very small value. But still, we have to look at the image rejection ratio because we know that it is not going to become infinity, right? It is not going. The signal, the image power is not going to become zero here. That is why we are just doing this analysis and just looking at the image rejection ratio. Yeah, because we cannot say it will be always a small difference of delta theta happens, right? Yes, Ladith, you can unmute, please.
Sir, yeah, I understood the explanation. Sir. And what about epsilon? Because epsilon it'll only increase the amplitude, right? If it is positive, and it'll decrease it by a little amount if it's negative. Like, how does that affect our receiving capability?
What is it? How does that affect?
The receiving capability, like it just minutely distorts the signal, right? It's not some very big change. It cancels it out.
Yeah, so why we are considering this is because no, the whole Hartley architecture is relying on the fact that the cancellation of image is happening on this fashion, right? So if you have A and if you have exactly minus A, yes, the problem is solved. But if it is not, the difference will actually retain some image over there. Isn't it, Lalit?
Yes, sir. So like we should notice it even at that level of minute thing. Like that's what I'm.
Yeah, because so that the whole thing depends on the specific area where we use depending on how much signal quality or the without distortion we want to receive. All those things matters, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I also do agree before because even the previous the previous architecture of dual down conversion or the other one, everywhere images are getting retained. So all of a sudden when we propose or when we not we are proposing, whenever we look at a different architecture with a slightly different principle, we cannot say that okay, this is perfect and this will take care of all the problems. It is not like that. This also have certain problems, and these problems are reported as and when they were used and when they saw that yes, there is a lacuna in that, right? So thereby we are also looking at the fact that images are not perfectly cancelled. I do understand your concern because you are thinking if the epsilon is small or delta theta is very small, how does it matters? Yes, it will result in it will result in a very small portion of image retained in the output. Yeah, that is true. But in case because it is not totally synchronized in that fashion, so if at all there is a slightly larger difference in the epsilon or in the theta delta theta, that will definitely retain a bigger larger portion of image, right? So
yes,
you can always look at this performance measure of image rejection ratio, and depending on that, we can take a decision. And not only that, because the little crude way of implementing an n-degree phase shift using RCCR, because you can also see that R and C also will have variations, right? When you implement it practically. The R and C, the upper arm and lower arm. And one more thing, yeah, we will discuss that. Then you will get to know, because we told that RCCR network will give a specific like you will get 90 degree phase shift by using this RCCR, but the amplitude of the upper and lower arm will be equal only for a specific frequency that we will discuss. Then we will know that your image frequency should be exactly that to get that kind of a response. We will see that very shortly. That is another one more drawback of this.
So why don't we use a digital filter? Like, I feel it will be much better. But I know we are studying analog, but I'm just
Yeah, so these architectures, yeah, in none of these architecture we are bringing those kind of, because see, when you talk about very high frequency applications, like digital filter, when if I want to introduce a digital filter, then I have to actually convert this analog into digital, right?
yes,
I cannot employ, or I cannot use directly a digital filter to an analog signal, so that is not possible. At least with these kind of architectures, it is not possible. And we will look at slightly digital. It is not digital at all, but digital altogether. There is something called as sliding IF architecture. There are various architectures available. So at least in the purview of this course, we are not looking totally at digital architectures, but after these, the processing will be definitely happening in the digital side.
okay.
Yeah, I think you are also aware that we have like high frequency ADCs available. So to a certain frequency directly, it is possible to convert those things and do the entire operation in digital. But still, there are many areas still we are using these kind of architectures.
Got it, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Pratap, I think you have a question. Even if the images don't cancel themselves out completely, but sufficiently so that the amplitude of the image signal is comparable to the noise floor, yes, that will be acceptable. Yes, Pratap, yes. So I'm not, even my point is not that. So we are trying to study the drawback of image like Hartley receiver. Now, as you told, no, by looking at the image rejection ratio, if it is acceptable within the application what we use, definitely we can go ahead with such kind of architectures. All right. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Pratap. Yeah. So further on this, what you can do is you can just take the ratio of this image rejection ratio. I'll just write it over here. And if you take the ratio, those amplitude components will get definitely cancelled out. So this will become 1 plus epsilon the whole square plus, yeah, I think it will be inverse of what we have written before, cos delta theta plus 1 divided by 1 plus epsilon the whole square minus 2 into 1 plus epsilon cos delta theta plus 1. And if you can further simplify this by giving suitable assumptions, maybe by considering delta theta, cos delta theta as delta theta is very small, and you can give suitable approximations to this. And if you do that, finally we will see that this can be even approximated to a very small value like 4 divided by epsilon square plus delta theta square. And this is the expression what we are getting. Now if I see delta theta is very small, your cos delta theta can be approximated, and then if you further work on this, you can get something very close to 4 by epsilon square plus delta theta square. All right, and with the overall, when we typically look at the performance of this image reject receiver Hartley architecture, it is reported that image rejection ratio typically fall in the range of 50 dB or even lesser, 50 dB or lesser. And for such, so since the image rejection ratio is 50 dB or lesser, depending on the application and depending on the requirements only, we will consider whether we need to use these kind of architectures or not. But not only this, we have already discussed one problem with this, because it is sensitive to gain and mismatches in the LO signal. But apart from that, if you look at the other drawbacks, one more thing what we can discuss now is the variations in because we know that RCCR is the 90 degree is basically depending on the value of R and C. So there can be variations in the absolute values of resistors and capacitors, right? So the absolute values of R1 and C1. So I am taking the RCCR network again. Do we have time to complete this? Okay. So this is V out 1 and this is V out 2. This is V in C1 R1 or R1 C1. Now if I write V out 1 with respect to V in, V out 1 with respect to V in is a high pass response. I think we have seen this before. And similarly, V out 2 with respect to V in will typically give you a low pass response. Alright, and the angle between these two, angle between the upper arm and lower arm will be equal to 90 degree. And this can be considered as 90 degree at all frequencies and for values of R1 and C1, any choice if you take. This angle typically remains as 90 degree. That is why we basically use this as for our 90 degree phase shift operation. Now if you look at the response of this high pass and low pass here, we will understand that. So if I look at the response, the low pass response is typically something like this. This is your low pass response. And high pass response is something like this. Alright, so this is your the low pass, the magnitude of low pass response is this, and magnitude of high pass response is this. And maybe if I'm the maximum value, if I'm writing it equal to 1, and this as the 3 dB frequency, the magnitude will be equal to 1 by root 2. Right. So if I look at the magnitude of V out 1 by V in, that will be equal to magnitude of V out 2 by V in. That is the both high pass and low pass response will have equal amplitude. That is 1 by root 2 only at the 3 dB frequency or at the cutoff frequency, that is at that is only this will only happen at 1 by R1 C1. That means, what is the meaning of this? The output amplitude. So if you are using this for a 90 degree phase shift operation, the output amplitudes are equal only at this particular omega. So the output amplitudes are equal only at this specific frequency, which is 1 by R1 C1, right? Now, what is our omega IF intermediate frequency? That means your omega IF should be equal to 1 by R1 C1, right? Because you have to have the output amplitudes equal, and that will happen only since it will happen only to R1 C1. Your intermediate frequency also should be 1 by R1 C1. You have to select R1 and C1 in such manner. And if I extend this towards the phase of the signal, definitely you will get the phase starting from 90. Sorry. In this fashion, and the other one, it will start from 0 and that will approach minus 90 at a very high frequency. Let me mark like this as minus 90. So now if I look at the values of R1 C1, and if I am including the changes in the absolute values of R1 and C1 as delta R and delta C, if these are the small changes in R1 and C1, when I take the ratio of the high pass response to the low pass response, so what will be this ratio? Can I so if I write the high pass filter response, which will be equal to SR1 C1 divided by 1 plus SR1 C1. So why I am writing this directly is we have discussed this once before, and low pass filter response will be equal to 1 by 1 plus SR1 C1. So if I take the ratio of these two, and if I go for magnitude, that will be equal to omega into R1 C1, or it is basically omega IF into R1 C1. But if I include the small changes which is in the R1 C1 value, I can write it as omega IF into R1 plus delta R into C1 plus delta C. And if I further write this, if I take this R1 outside and the C1 outside, it will be 1 plus delta R by R1, and this is 1 plus delta C by C1. So omega IF is equal to 1 by R1 C1. So this will be equal to 1 plus delta R by R1 into 1 plus delta C by C1, or this can be the magnitude of high pass filter to that of low pass one, can be written as 1 plus delta R by R1 plus delta C by C1 plus delta R delta C by R1 C1. All right. So if you look at this also, you can see that this component will definitely, so if there is a change in R and the change in C value, so that will result, definitely that will result in some kind of gain mismatches, and this also will add to the improper cancellation of image. So the image cancellation, I can say this image cancellation will be again imperfect, because in this case we are looking at the absolute values of R1 and C1. If they are not matching, if there are mismatches in that, then that will definitely result in imperfect cancellation of image. Moreover, this RCCR section of what we have considered now will also add some noise to the system. We'll introduce noise as well, right? So looking at these factors, so what we have done here is we have just looked at the high pass, low pass response and observed that only at one frequency the amplitudes remain same, and if there are changes in the absolute values, that will definitely result in gain mismatch, and that will result in imperfect cancellation of image, right? So yeah, it's time. So what we did today is we have looked at the Hartley architecture in practice, and we looked at the drawbacks of that. The local oscillators will be sensitive to mismatches, that is both in gain and phase. Then the RCCR network also, the the changes in the absolute values of R1 C1 also will result in imperfect cancellation. Moreover, it will add certain noise to the system. So for such stated reasons, and for these drawbacks, there are certain modifications proposed, and that resulted in one another architecture. That architecture we will see in the next class. So thank you so much for joining, and we will definitely continue discussion on this by looking at how we can modify these drawbacks and result in another architecture in our next class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.